The Objective News Network, Nikki Haley. Hello, this is John Hnatio reporting for the Objective News Network. Welcome to the next in our series of profiles of candidates running for the president. Today, we are going to give you a very brief profile of Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley was born Nimartata, Randhawa, to immigrant Sikh parents from Amritsar, Punjab, India on January 20th, 1972. Haley graduated from Clemson University in 1994 with a BS degree in accounting and finance. She served as governor of South Carolina from 2011 to 2017 and as the 29th United States ambassador to the United Nations for 2 years, from January 27 through December 2018. We could find no comprehensive policy papers written by Nikki Haley laying out her broad national security strategy, goals, and objectives. But the following is a compendium of isolated comments by Haley from multiple sources on national security-related issues. Haley has said China is the, quote, greatest threat to American security and prosperity, close quote. She has said the Chinese Communist Party's CCP endgame is clear. China is preparing its people for war, close quote. Haley supports helping the Ukrainians fight the war against Russia. She has said that the war was the, quote, bigger than Ukraine, and, quote, was about freedom, close quote. On Israel, Haley has said that the U.S. should give Israel whatever support it needs, not just get your country back, but also to eliminate the terrorists. As ambassador to the United Nations, she made the defense of Israel one of her defining causes. In the area of border crisis and immigration, we could find no comprehensive policy papers written by Nikki Haley laying out her broad immigration strategy and accompanying goals and objectives, and most importantly, how she would implement them should she be selected for president. Haley calls on Congress to close the border and defund sanctuary cities. She has suggested a catch and deport strategy for the Mexico border crisis. She has proposed taking federal dollars allocated for the IRS and giving them to the U.S. Customs, Border, and Protection Patrol to hire 25,000 new agents for the border. She's pledged to ease legal pathways for citizenship for new workers as an effort to alleviate labor shortages. Haley has also proposed re-implementing 2 Trump-era border policies: the Migrant Protection Protocols, nicknamed Remain in Mexico, and Title 42, the Trump-era expulsion order used to mitigate the spread of COVID-19 during the pandemic. We couldn't find any comprehensive policy papers by Nikki Haley laying out her national economic strategy should she be elected as president. This includes a strategy and goals to slow down and begin paying off the national debt. Among her policy objectives are to eliminate the federal gas and diesel tax, cut income taxes for working families, and veto any spending bill that doesn't take us back to pre-COVID spending levels. She supports increasing oil and gas drilling and limiting federal workers to no more than 5 years on the job. Haley believes gaining energy independence will save families money on their utility bills and allow the U.S. to not be as reliant on foreign countries. Haley blames big government spending for inflation. On the abortion front, Haley has said that she is personally pro-life. During the first GOP debate, she refused to call for a 15-week federal abortion ban. As a lawmaker and then governor, Haley supported restrictive abortion measures. We found no comprehensive policy papers written by Nikki Haley laying out what would be her broad national justice system reform strategy and how she would implement it should she be elected as president. As governor of South Carolina, Haley signed several bills related to crime and policing, where she reduced incarceration rates and recidivism. It's been reported that the state's prison population declined by about 15% during her tenure, and its recidivism rate was among the country's lowest. Close quote. She has called for bringing back law and order and said government leaders should hold prosecutors responsible and take care of law enforcement. Haley has spoken out against red flag laws, saying she did not trust the government to not take the guns of those who rightly deserve to have them. Haley has said mental health treatment is a key component to preventing attacks before they happen, calling for mental health counselors at every school in the country. On Social Security, Medicare, and the retirement age, Haley says Social Security and Medicare spending is unsustainable and proposes entitlement program changes for young people to prevent bankruptcy. She believes older Americans should not see cuts to their benefits and promised to keep programs intact for people who are in their 40s or older. She wants to raise the retirement age for young adults coming into the system in their 20s so that it matches life expectancy. She has said little about child care subsidies. We found no comprehensive policy papers written by Nikki Haley, laying out her broad strategy goals and objectives to end the fentanyl and opioid crises should she be elected president. Nikki Haley supports the deployment of U.S. military personnel to Mexico to combat the drug cartels and the flow of fentanyl into the United States. She would push to cut off trade relations with Beijing until the flow of fentanyl in the U.S. has been halted. We could find no comprehensive policy papers laying out her broad education reform strategy, goals, and objectives. We did, however, find the following comments by Haley, as taken from multiple sources, on education-related issues. Haley supports increased transparency in the classroom, vowing to give parents more of a say in classrooms. She has promised to neuter the U.S. Education Department by reducing its size and empower the parents on the ground. She criticizes the practice of allowing transgender girls to compete in female school sports, calling it the women's issue of our time. We could find no comprehensive policy papers written by Nikki Haley on her at least broad climate and environmental strategy, what her goals are and objectives, and just as importantly, how she would implement them if she became the President of the United States. Haley acknowledges climate change is real and caused by humans. Early in her campaign, she said there's a need to address the problem, although she did not agree with drastic efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Her plan as president includes lifting Biden administration restrictions on oil and gas production, eliminating subsidies for renewable energy, and canceling proposed regulations on power plants and vehicle emissions. As ambassador to the United Nations, Haley was involved in withdrawing the United States from the Paris Agreement, a legally binding international treaty on climate change. She has, however, supported the use of carbon capture technology to remove carbon from the air. This is just a very quick overview of Nikki Haley's views on some of the major issues of importance to the American people as they head to the polls to elect their next president. To ensure that we are being objective and fairly representing all of the candidates, we must say that a common issue among all of the candidates we've reviewed thus far is that they have not developed comprehensive policy papers or strategies that include specific goals and objectives and explain how the candidates plan to implement them in the highly divisive environment of American politics. From my personal experience working on Capitol Hill for many years, it's one thing to say that you're going to do it. It's quite another to actually get them accomplished. It is what it is. This is John Hnatio reporting for the Objective News Network. Please tell your families, friends, and colleagues about us and hit the subscribe button below. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you the next time.